8 hours.
What?
Yeah, you can do a Google Hangouts.
For 8 hours?
8 hours.
That's crazy. Who would do that? Wait, I know who would do that. My good old girlfriends in the hen house.
Dutch. What up, yo?
Stalker. Hey, hey.
Kitty. Mama Cat. Becky.
It's very choppy.
It's Google Hangouts. It's that way.
Who did what? I'm not talking about you.
Let's make sure we're on the extender, too. And Dutch, pretty soon I'm going to be like, Dutch, do a channel shout out for me, man.
No kidding. Just goes to show one viral video. That's all it takes.
Dutch is a big channel now.
Mm-hmm. I'm innocent. Hey, D, what's up? These flies, man. Crazy. It looks nice and warm. It is warm.
You know what that is?
Yes, I do. It's seed.
That's a seed.
That is. It's more than one seed. Look at it. It's a bunch of seeds.
Yep.
I'm seriously clueless. I was making a joke. Jason said that, did you know on Google Hangouts, you can do a Google Hangout for 8 hours? And I said, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Who in the world would do that? And then I said, I know who would do that. My wonderful girls over at the hen house. That's what I was saying.
Well, we are going to give everybody a few minutes to get on in
The show
here.
can't start until we have our tea. That's just all there is to it.
Okay, this is nature's drumsticks right here. See, you got the seed pod and then the onion head.
And you're going to bash that seed head and it's going to go all over the place.
You didn't put no mint? You didn't put no mint in there?
Ended up being 12. Holy cow, that's crazy. You're not supposed to tell people that. Do you really think I'm innocent? No, I don't think you're innocent at all.
You're going to fall, and I'm going to laugh.
LOL, went to bed with Mama Cat on, woke up with Mama Cat still on. Who's a stranger in the background? We don't have a stranger in the background.
I'm a stranger in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You're a stranger going to get me some mint leaves.
Now we know it looks a little weird, but it's just the best we can do for right now.
Well, we're going to take you, or I'm going to spin the camera around a little bit and show you what we're literally sitting
in the middle of.
But we dropped a very large pecan tree. Yeah.
If you do Instagram, I posted some pictures on Instagram. You could see.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. Pug?
I made tea yesterday. It was gone by last night. Yeah, that's the way
Simply
it is here.
7. I've been trying to call you guys all day.
Hey, Nicole, how did your appointment go?
I'm not supposed to ask her that.
Oh, why not?
Hey, Michelle. Michelle, I answered you from this morning. I sent it to you via a message via your YouTube.
Hey, Sam. I make tea every day. Yep.
Yeah.
Looks like a tree. It is a tree.
It's kind of a tree.
We're sitting in the middle of the tree. Like, it's like all around us. All that back there is all tree.
It's all tree.
It's all tree.
Not Tay-Tay, but tree.
Just got in from the dock.
Okay. Well, what we did this morning is we dropped a pecan tree. Now, there was multiple reasons why we put this tree on the ground. One, it was casting a very large shadow.
Huge shadow.
Over a part of our garden. But the second part was that it wasn't taken care of properly when it was younger. And it has started to get the beetles. They're a boring type beetle. Now, I'm not an arborist, so I don't know exactly what they're called. So don't be leaving me a comment saying you're talking about it wrong. But these beetles will...
2 for you. 2 for you. And 2 for me.
Thank you.
Okay, no, go away.
Bye bye.
These beetles, check out this mint leaf, y'all.
These things are huge.
That's what she said.
That's a big old thing.
It's a big old hunk of mint leaf.
Mm-hmm.
But these beetles will eventually get into the tree and kill it. And then and if a strong wind or strong storm comes up, branches and stuff will stop popping and everything like that.
That's a mint leaf on steroids. It's a sweet mint. So it's not like peppermint. They're sweet mint leaves, so they're pretty good.
And so that was the second reason. Now, here in a minute, we're going to get up and I'm going to show you some of the branches and stuff here. And
Hey, Gary.
we should be able to see
Hey, Pickers.
some of the damage that happens. And this is the reason why you have to prune. You have to prune. When your trees are young, you have to take care of them. You got to manage it. Now,
We've inherited that were not managed well.
right. And you'll get
Hey, Wendy. Jeremiah Lackey. I don't recognize that. Is that a new name?
I think so. But on the flip side, this tree did not really go down in vain.
Mm-mm.
I'm fixing to show you guys something that we have that we were able to propagate from this tree. Now again, this is a pecan tree. And so this tree, we have multiple seedlings. Because it's not really a sapling yet.
Mm-mm.
I don't think. I don't know. I'm not an arborist. But let's see if I can, without doing too much damage.
Is that the one that came from the seed, from the pecan?
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's another thing. I posted on Instagram. There's a picture, and you can see where I think it's Ladessa or Carol, one of them.
It's too far down in there now.
That the actual seed is still there.
Yeah.
We've learned through experience that pigs need pruning too, apparently.
But this is a pecan tree.
Yep.
That we started. Maybe this little guy here.
Like it literally came from
Here
one
we
of
go.
the seeds.
Okay.
Might need to put your hand behind it.
Can you guys see that? Okay. That is the pecan. That's a pecan right there. Okay. And the seed, the tree grew out from the pecan, the nut. Right there. And then we got the good strong root down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and replant him.
What kind of pecan trees are they?
That I do not know.
Pecan trees.
It's a pecan tree.
They're good tasting pecans. That's about. We don't. We're
Yeah.
not. Don't claim to know a whole lot about trees.
And
but-
so I've got about 4 or 5 trees from this tree, from nuts that have fallen off of this tree.
Mhm.
We picked up and they had to get scarred and put it in the dirt, and it started.
We've had a lot of things do that this year in the ground. We had some Jerusalem artichokes just decide to.
Mm.
Okay, so we did some videos about Jerusalem artichokes, and we said that they were prolific. We didn't realize just how prolific they are. We kept them in a bed, but somehow between the time that we planted them and the time that we harvested them, We now have some that have fallen into the ground and have started outside of the bed. We have like, how many? What would you say? Maybe 10 or 20?
I don't know. I still can't get over how beautiful you are.
You're looking at me.
Even with your new hairdo, you're still breathtaking to me. So
Yes, it's not an Ozark mug. It's a Razorback.
But-
Oh, it is an Ozark Trail mug. Yes, but I put yeah, but I put a Razorback on there. Anita Rogers sent this to me. I haven't seen her in the chat yet, but
somebody asked
what's he sucking up for? Nothing. He just gets that way. If you watch him, just watch his face. Sometimes he just gets to where he'll just stare at me and he just all of a sudden.
Jeremy Lackey asked,
Jeremiah Lackey asked, how long will they produce nuts?
how long will it take
Oh, I
until
thought
they
it said.
produce nuts? And usually from this point here, it'll take probably 5-6 years before we start getting a decent
Probably.
harvest of pecans on them. And again, a lot of that depends on whether how well we baby them,
Mm-hmm.
and how whether or not they get hit with any insects or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Becky asked about my cup. Does it work well? Yes, it does. The only thing I will tell you is it has a plastic lid, and if you use essential oils, you will tear your lid up. Just saying. So I will have to get a new.
That.
I know I'll have to get a new lid.
I mean,
But
is having a sippy cup really that important?
no.
All right. Well, I want to take you guys to show you something on this tree
Where are you going?
right there.
Do I gotta put my shoes on?
No.
Can I just sit here?
Yeah, you can.
I'm just gonna sit here. Okay.
Let me bear with me as I move. Okay. Well, that's not touching. I thought that was touching.
What are you trying to find? Like the bullhole?
That branch fell off that was up here that was rubbing. But let me see here. Where did they go?
These two right here, are they just right here? There's two right here that look like they were growing together.
It's hard now that it's on the ground. All right. Okay, guys. You see these little holes right in here? Okay, you got them there. You got one there. There. Okay. They're all throughout this tree. Okay. And those are those beetles that I was talking about. Okay. Those beetles will get into the tree itself and will start to just wreak havoc on that tree. Now, it broke off when the tree fell, but when you have branches in a tree that overlap and they're touching each other, that is bad. Okay. And the reason being is wind blows, those branches will rub. Okay. And it'll take the bark off and it'll take the protective layers off.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, it's no different than if you took an eraser and went on your arm and just started going like this. Okay. you would get a sore spot, okay, and eventually that spot would scar.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how long you were tough enough to be able to do that.
Right.
And that open wound on the tree can then allow in insects, can allow in fungus, different types of diseases, and that can also weaken the tree. Now, most of the trees and like, again, I'm not an arborist, I'm just talking from experience. Most of your trees, when you're seeing them die, it's at the top first. The top part of the tree ends up dying off first, getting weak and breaking and popping, and then it just works its way down. And the reason for that is because the sap and everything coming from the bottom of the tree has to flow upward. So if you're running into different pests, diseases, fungus that will slow that sap flow, then the top part of your tree doesn't get the life juice, the sugar water that it needs in order to produce leaves and to keep healthy foliage and to keep the tree healthy.
I have a tree that's dying from the top, a stinking sweet gum that I want gone. Yeah, we can definitely relate to you on that one.
Relate to you on that one with sweet gums. I'm not a sweet gum fan,
Mm-mm.
even though Daniel from Go for Green heard me fussing about sweet gums last week or the week before last, and he said, now, and I don't know about this, but I told him I'm going to give it a go this year. I'm going to try that. You can take the sweet gum balls when they're green and
Hey, Sherry.
make a tincture out of them, and it's good. It's like an antibacterial.
Well, he also said that you can take the young saplings,
The
or
young branches,
and peel them off and use them almost for
use them as a
toothbrush. Log splitter on sale at Harbor Freight. I wouldn't trust it. And Mama Cat said she had it priced, her sweet gum, and they wanted $900 to cut it up. Isn't that crazy?
Well, believe it or not, Bumblebee's in here. I've seen him. But him and a couple of others, when I was talking about getting the sawmill because of all the sweet gums, they said, no, don't do that because of the way the makeup of the wood,
Right,
basically.
something about it.
That it'll twist and pop. But they said it would be great for us to be able to fix that overflow on the dam and build that dam up back there. And so you just drop it down there.
Just let it.
And then because of the way that the wood is made up, the wood will soak up water and it will just become a fixture.
So Shelly asked if the sweet gum balls, if they'll break down for compost. We've had sweet gum balls that have been in certain parts of our area for years, and we've still not seen them break down. So
I think Sherman stepped on some of the same sweet gum balls I've stepped on.
Steve, professor, said they use gum trees for pier pilings there.
Yeah. I wonder if I could use that to build the dock.
Maybe.
That would save us a good bit of money.
Mm-hmm. Twisting and popping is also great for Google Call. Yeah. Well, crap. Yeah, I know, right?
Well, hey, Bumblebee, would I be able to use the sweet gum as a like if I took the big part of the base of the trunk and stuff? Would I be able to use them as the piers and be able to build off of them to make a dock in my pond?
So Bumblebee said sweet gumballs were designed in hell. Mower-proof cow drops. And Mama says the sweet gum little. Wait,
They don't burn.
they don't burn well either.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Sweet gumballs make a pretty wreath. I don't know. I mean, I
I'd
guess.
have to see that.
I bet if you spray painted them, they would.
Yeah.
Some people use them for docks.
Yeah.
Sweet gumballs painted for Christmas tree ornaments. Yeah. Okay, maybe.
Mhm.
Dock pilings and net posts are common uses. They grow fairly fast and straight.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that might be something that we could do, because we got a tremendous amount of these sweet gum balls. But if Daniel from Gopher Green is right, which usually he is with this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we may want to keep one sweet gum on property.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start paying attention this year. And when the balls are green, we'll pick them. And we'll make a tincture. And then if anybody gets a cold, we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
If you did, I'd strip the bark and maybe coat them with a used motor or diesel fuel mix to semi-waterproof them.
That can be done.
Maybe bullets, they would hurt like, yeah, they probably would hurt.
But, so I really wanted to kind of take you guys on a little bit of
What do you see?
that bird.
Where?
I can't tell what it is.
Oh.
I almost thought it was like a blue jay or something, but it's
No,
not big
it's
enough.
too small.
It's not big enough. All I saw was the blue, though. Yeah, I swear it
It's
looked
really
blue.
pretty.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, in other news, last night I was out here locking up, and we have a colony of bats that hang out around the garden up here.
Awesome.
I think they may be living in that big oak. But it started out as one, and then it became, next thing I know, there was like 5, and there had to be at least 10,
Nice.
so that,
Well, and fortunately, we have bat-proofed our house, so we're okay with them being around.
Yeah.
Dutch bats.
I don't know if I can.
Okay, so somebody asked, did you get a lot of pecans from this tree?
Yes.
Well, it's kind of hard to say because most of the pecans would land in the landed in the garden, and they also landed here where we used to have a bunch of our compost pile. And so we've had a couple of pecans here, there, and everywhere, but a big majority of what we've harvested came from further down there.
But we got a good
But I
bit.
would imagine that we got quite a few from this tree.
We got at least a 5-gallon bucket full just from
Right around here.
From where the eggplant is to where the radishes are.
So
I'd keep one gum tree just for
the sake of
biodiversity.
biodiversity. You never know. Maybe it's the beaver treat or squirrels use it for self-medicating.
That's true too, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Susan.
Hey, bandana
And
grandma.
there's Anita. I was just talking about you a minute ago.
Yeah. Susan Sullivan, where you been?
Hard to tell what it might affect if you cut them all. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's true.
They are a part of the natural
I'll tell you
environment
what
around
we
here.
would do. We would probably clear them out from right around our house. That's what we're basically saying. It's not that I don't mind if they're on the edge of the property somewhere. The problem is that we have them very, very close to our house, and we don't want them to do damage. So that's more of the reason why we would want to take those out. And then if they're providing shade somewhere, the shade, that would be the reason why we would cut them down. If they're out in the middle of the pasture, we may thin some of those out later, but we're not going to just go around killing all of the sweet gum trees just because of sweet gum. So
now, and I'm gonna probably do some videos and keep you guys abreast on what happens with these saplings or seedlings, pecan trees here over the next couple of years. The thing is when it comes time to plant them in the ground, there are some specific things that you need to do when you are planting a tree, whether it's a nut tree, an oak tree, a fruit tree, or just a flowering tree.
So Bandana Grandma said, I have one pecan tree, 12 years old, only 4 feet tall. It won't do anything without a mate. You have to have 2. Okay, so make sure everybody knows that. Sherry said, hey, if you need a tree cut down, I know a guy.
I thought about calling you this morning to let him come over here and take part. But we do have to cut it all up. So, I mean, if he wants to come over and do that.
Can you show a sweet gum ball? Are they the spiky balls? Yes. I don't see any around here right now. But
around over here, they're all.
No, they're probably all in the backyard. But
yeah. Anyway.
But
well, let me go get one. I know exactly where they are.
Oh, that was my arm.
I'm sorry.
Does he come to Alabama? Hi, Mama Cat. I tried to get on. Yeah, yeah. And you know, Professor's right. He said nature's Legos. Cut down about 50 trees. Yeah, the sweet gum balls, the problem with them is that they're really bad. Like if you have them on an area, like we have a slope down by where our pigs used to be, where we keep them during the wintertime. And there's a slope right there. And what ended up happening is they all, hold tight to the ground. But when you start to walk on them, they're really slick and you could slip and fall and hurt yourself pretty bad. So that's the part where I don't like them because they can be very hazardous, Found a couple. I didn't know how my back was. It was doing okay. And then something happened today and it started hurting again. So I'm not really sure. Okay. So these are little small ones. They're normally much bigger than that. And that kind of nasty weather we had last year where
those are a couple years old.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Those are just real quick right there by the driveway.
So,
let me see the Chromebook.
Anyway. All right, hold on. We're about to start moving.
Okay. I'm going to show you guys one of the reasons why you don't prune trees in the spring and summertime. Okay.
Oh, is it bleeding?
Because we cut this tree down because the sap was running and it is now doing what it's called bleeding. But on a different note, a positive note about that, the stump is bleeding. Okay. But you can well, let me just see if you guys can see it. You can see who comes to visit and get some of that sugar water, because that's basically all it is. Okay, there's all different types of bugs and everything with it, but it's just wet. And this is all basic sugar water from the tree. Now you guys, hopefully you guys saw that honeybee there. There was 2 when I came up here at first, but that's the nice thing about it. Now my girls are going to okay, looks like y'all got to see that. My girls are going to come, and when I mean my girls, I mean my honeybees.
Not my kids.
They're going to come and they'll start to harvest that sugar water off of that stump. So that's kind of cool in a roundabout way. So yeah, it'll draw the ants also, but
Which is fine. The area it's in is okay.
yeah, it's not in the garden or anything, and we'll get this all cut up and start to let the wood dry, and then we're going to use it to smoke.
Absolutely.
Hopefully by this year, the end of this year, I will have my smokehouse built, and we
Bats multiply like rabbits. We know.
we will be able to use this in the smokehouse. And believe it or not, bats really don't multiply like rabbits. What happens is the colony doubles every year.
Mm-hmm.
The females will have maybe triplets, but they only give birth one time a year. So
Yes, it's a pecan tree. So they were asking if you could tap that. I don't think it would be after you build yours, come build one here.
yeah, so it could be pecan smoked bacon. Later, Doc. So yeah, I do want to get down there to visit Alderman Farms. I really do.
Yeah, we gotta.
Just it might have to be kind of a winter trip. We need to kind of plan it with if and when the truck gets back, and I can build a cage in the bed of the truck
To bring the pigs back.
and we can bring some pigs back.
I don't know. By the time we get done, he might be out of pigs.
For real.
He's trying to get rid of them. Not get rid of them, just thin them out.
He'll never be out of pigs.
Why doesn't it make pecans? It does make pecans. I mean, it won't make pecan like that. She was talking about the sap. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Well, Mr. Tommy Alderman, that highway goes in both directions, brother. You and Miss Patty can come up here anytime you want.
We kind of missed them in Tennessee. I'll never be out of pigs. Oh, no, mine, Robin. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So Mama Cat has one that's not making pecans? Is that what she said?
I think.
How many pecan trees do you have on your property? You're going to need more than one.
I was wondering about the sweet gum tree, not the pecan tree. Oh.
Yeah, he said you've been running your mouth about going there.
You have been running your mouth about going there.
You have.
They don't bear until they're about 7 years old.
Yeah.
Squirrels are eating them. That's a possibility. We had one year where that.
Yeah, we didn't
And
get a
then
single pecan.
This past summer, we got a ton of them, and that was because the winter before, y'all were, knocking squirrels
We were
out.
slaying them.
Knocking them out of the trees.
We ate squirrels for months. It wasn't even funny.
Okay, so I guess Homestead Wannabes doesn't know about the fact that we are nuisance wildlife people.
Yeah.
Checking our attic. We already know we don't have them in our attic. We've already bat-proofed our house.
Homestead Wannabe, I've held a nuisance wildlife removal license for
As long as I've known you.
12 years,
Mhm.
13 years.
Yeah.
And I've done lots and lots of bat work. My house is bat proof. So, but you're absolutely right. Bats can enter a home quicker than an in-law.
Oh, boss said, "Boss, you can't smoke any bacon. I may be able to smell it from here, and that wouldn't be good." If you plant a pecan off, say, a Stewart pecan tree, it will come up as a tiny native pecan. Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Pecan smoke sounds great. You know, we have used some of the other pecan that fell down,
And we smoked pork
and
with
we
it.
smoked pork with it, and it was
phenomenal.
delicious. Of course,
there she is, and I'm intimidated to even try to say her name, even though she broke it down phonically for me.
Bon Terre.
Bon Terre, like you tear in a
Bon
piece.
Terre, like
Bon
you tear
Terre.
in a piece.
Bon Terre.
Yes. She sent you a way to say
I
her
know,
name.
that's what I'm saying.
So funny.
That's what I was sitting here trying to remember it.
Yeah. So, but
But that's what we did today. Is we dropped this tree, and then I saw all the damage and stuff done to it as we were moving up higher in the tree, and I didn't cut it up today because
bye, Tommy.
I wanted to share this with you guys because this can be devastating to a pecan tree. These beetles are bad. So how do we go about combating these beetles? Well, here again, this is when I say you have to bring in the natural predators. You've got to bring in these birds. The Carolina wrens, the robins, the blue jays.
Mm-hmm.
I got my robin. But you got to bring in all these different types of birds. The cardinals, the one that almost just pooped on us, to come in and encourage them to eat these beetles. Because if you don't, then you'll wind up with this devastation on your pecan tree. Every one of our pecan trees, we are going to have to start over because they're all eaten up terribly with these beetles.
What keeps squirrels away?
A 12 gauge.
And some traps.
You're not there, there's nothing that you're going to be able to put up in your
No, you have to actively thin them out.
yeah, around your pecan trees or your chestnut trees or your walnut trees.
I mean, I know I see people that put the flashing around the trees to be able, but you would have to physically go out and do all of your trees because the way ours are, they all somehow connect. And I've seen superfly squirrels jump from tree to tree.
You don't necessarily, it's not always just the gray squirrel.
Right.
Here in the South, we have a flying squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And that little booger, they're nocturnal. Two, they're about that big. But they can climb up the side of a brick house, jump, and then glide to get onto the tree. So there's no really foolproof way to keep squirrels out of your nut trees.
Except to get rid of them.
I mean, you got to
thin them out.
You got to hunt them.
Yeah.
And then it's just population control.
Right. And that's what we're basically working on now is kind of keeping the population under control. Because when we first got here, there weren't a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
And then as we were trapping them, we were releasing them on the property.
Because we eat them.
Right. So we wait until winter time.
Yeah. Squirrel is a main dish here on our homestead.
During the winter.
And so when we were still doing the trapping business, hardcore like we were, any squirrel I'd catch, I'd bring it here and release it.
Right.
Now, I did that because I knew by the wintertime he was going to be in a crock pot. But, you have to, there's no foolproof way to be able to keep the raccoons out, the possums out, all the squirrels out, all the, everything that can come in and steal your nuts or your fruits or your vegetables, the rabbits and stuff.
Real quick question. I'm sorry. Will coyotes eat squirrels?
Yeah. Yeah. Apollo would eat a squirrel if he could catch it.
Yeah.
You just have to keep the population under control. And here's the wonderful thing about it, y'all. It's a balance. It truly is. There's the whole biodiversity with it. You want to have squirrels on your homestead. Hey, Kristen, you want to have rabbits on your homestead. Why? Because those rabbits and those squirrels are now prey to the foxes and the coyotes. If you've got a balance to where you've got enough rabbits and squirrels on your property, that keeps the coyotes and the bobcats and the foxes from roaming too far looking for food, and that will eventually find your chicken coops.
Yep.
You know, you want to have a balance of wild berries. You don't want to go out to your wild blackberry bushes and pull every stinking blackberry off of there. Leave some for the coons and the possums. Why? Because they'll get full on the berries and they won't come up here looking to snatch your eggs or your chicks or your chickens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've known some people that go to the extreme that they specifically plant raspberry, any type of berries and stuff just to keep the coons down there and not let them come up here.
Well, isn't that the kind of thing that Josh was talking about with putting together some kind of a barrier that'll keep your predators?
Yeah.
There you go. I love squirrel control. Nice chair, large glass of tea, and a 22.
Mm-hmm. You know, and you can, what's that guy's name? Bama Backwoods is right. I mean, you could go to the labor of burying, flashing, fencing, stuff like that to try to keeping the digger predators out. But you know, a gray fox will climb just as much as a raccoon will. So he'll climb right up your post. He don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you notice that you got them, that's where your trapping and your hunting comes into play, and you keep everything at bay. You know, like right now, there's like 4 rabbits that they're not going to be able to wait till rabbit season. We're going to have to deal with them.
Have to, yeah.
You know, because they already just snatched up one whole thing of lettuce.
Yeah, like literally just pulled the whole head out of the ground. Yeah. Left a big old gaping hole in the ground.
You know, and it's just one of those things that it's all management, guys. It really is. You got to keep everything in balance. No different than with your soil for your garden. You can't go in there and overload it with a commercial fertilizer and you're just dumping nitrogen in there, because then it becomes deficient in calcium and magnesium and all this other stuff. You've got to keep it. You got to keep it all balanced, and that's where compost and organic matter and stuff comes into play. That's why some plants, like beans, they return nitrogen to the ground. You know, some of them use a lot of nitrogen. You know, some of them are more phosphorus based, some of them are more nitrogen, magnesium, you know, and it's all those kinds of things.
Where's my shades? I don't have any.
I know, right? So we're coming up just about on our hour here in about 10 minutes.
Asking if we're hot. No, we have a nice little breeze coming through, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. You know, and so, well, this is about the time that we always open it up for questions. So if you guys have any questions, please put them in all caps. All caps, and Robin and I will try to get to them and answer them.
I use perfumed up stuffed animals hanging around my garden. No deer or rabbits yet. Never thought of that.
That's a nifty little trick.
Never thought of that. Yeah, it's crock pot time for the rabbits. Yeah, but it's not the season for that.
Yeah, there's not that much meat on them.
Yeah.
All capital letters, pickers. Yes, if you use compost, you don't have to fertilize.
Does the bear poop in the woods?
Only
at
when
the
there's not a
shark.
bathroom.
Mm. Yeah, it's up in the 80s, guys. I mean, it's warm here, but I mean, it's not that bad.
Now, while we're waiting on some questions,
Here's your first one. When transplanting peanuts to the garden, how deep do they need to be planted?
that's a good question. You need to make sure that you have that root in the ground. Basically, if you're going from one of those little triangle containers,
Mm-hmm.
you squeeze that out and then you plant it as deep as that triangle was.
Shelly wants to know, if you use compost, do you still have to fertilize?
That really depends on your soil condition. If your soil condition is extremely deficient in something and you're just now starting to amend it with compost, you may have to. But what I would suggest is using a compost tea.
Yeah.
Like I have, one of the things that we have is the compost tumbler. We bought it when it was still relatively new, very expensive. It's supposed to, with the dome, and you go out there and you turn it every day, and it's supposed to make compost in like 14 days. Well, it makes compost right around 21 to 30 days. I haven't been able to get it right at 14 days, and it's a headache to try to keep the moisture level right. But the benefit of it is that on the 2 air filter grates that it has,
Yes.
when you're turning it every day, you turn them facing down and you put 2 5-gallon buckets up underneath it, and the liquid from everything breaking down and everything comes out of that, and you have compost tea.
Right.
Now you can use that to pour directly on your plants as a liquid fertilizer, and that would help.
So they asked if we've ever tried owl statues to keep the rabbits out. No.
No, I haven't. I'm not a real big fan of the owl type statues and stuff like that because, I mean, it's nothing more than a decoy, and it can be used to scare off some things, but
And
it could
attract.
also be used to
As an
attract
attractant. Right.
owls. And owls are a predator too. They're a raptor predator, so they could, and they're more deadly hunters than hawks or anything like that, and they could get into your coops and stuff as well.
Okay. Awesome question, Shelly. Believe it or not, that's liquid gold. She says she uses the water in the duck ponds. Will that be okay? Literally, that is
Well, it's not.
that's
You have
pretty
to,
good stuff.
it's good stuff, but you have to be careful with it because it's high in nitrogen.
Yes, it's
You
yeah, it
could
is a foul.
you could burn your stuff. So what I would do is probably out of a gallon of water, I would maybe use a cup and a half.
Can you not use, like, I don't know, some people have used these before. The you know how Miracle Grow used to have that thing that you could screw into your hose and then spray it out?
Yeah, but that's more for a powder one that goes to liquids. I don't know how well that would do.
Well, it mixes inside that container,
right.
so I bet you could put
One
it in
of the
there.
things that you could do with that is you could take it out and add let it soak in more of a carbon based stuff, dead leaves, stuff like that. Let it soak for a while and then use that. But I would still be very, very careful with it. That's just like chicken manure is a hot manure, and so is guano. Guano is a hot manure. You could burn your lawn and plants or whatever up real quick with it. So I would. It's great, but I would be very careful with it.
Okay, so Mama Cat wants to know, do you have rabbits that you'll be selling? She needs the poop.
Yes, I have rabbits. Maybe by the meetup, we might have some that I might want to sell.
If not,
if not, I know
Hope's planning on bringing some too.
is going to be bringing some, and she always has rabbits for sale.
So,
now if you do have rabbits and you have the Rexes, I might be willing to trade some bunnies around, so that way I don't have to worry about my bloodline that much.
Mm-hmm. And that's the great thing about, like, with the amount of community we have coming from different parts of the country. If you have the opportunity to swap up DNA and get everything kind of, mixed around, it makes for a really nice big gene pool instead of a little bitty. Like when we were in Augusta, everybody was swapping animals with everybody else within like a 30-mile radius.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, every chicken in the county had fowl pox, and every rabbit had problems, and it was just crazy. So,
hey, Jatan.
she doesn't have any yet. Jason, have thought of having food trucks at the meetup.
What do you mean by food trucks?
Are you talking about the meetup here?
Yeah.
In July, right?
You're talking like maybe like a CSA food type truck, or are you talking like a roach coach?
No, Michelle, we need the taco table. Yeah. That taco table was pretty awesome. When is the meetup? Got a plan for it. It's going to be in July. I don't remember the exact date. It's like 15th or something like that.
I think so.
It's not too far from my birthday. My birthday's on the 21st, so I know it's like.
And it's right there around John's birthday too.
Yeah. How do you deal with moles?
Moles are very time consuming, Minuteman. Very, very time consuming, and you have to be patient. But what you have to do is go out to where their runs are, and you know what I'm talking about, all over the place. And then you poke holes in those runs and take some landscaping flags and mark everywhere that you poke a hole. Okay? Then watch it over the next couple of days. If that hole gets repaired, then they're still using that run. And there are many different types of traps out for moles. They have, and they're all medieval. They came straight from Camelot or someplace like that. But you got the scissors kind that push down into the ground and it cuts them in two. Or you got my favorite.
The harpoon.
It's a harpoon one. It's basically a metal plate with like 8 penny nails all down through it. And he sets it, when he pushes the mound back up, it sets the trigger off. And
wow.
It harpoons him. Those are the best ways that I have come with my years of doing it. Those are the most effective way to take care of it. Now it's time consuming. Okay.
They came from Hades, Jason.
Because moles are almost blind. So they're doing a lot by smell and touch. And so they're going to dig down that tunnel that one time, and they may never, ever, ever use that again. Thereafter, at least the positive thing is, if you've got moles, then you got a pretty good healthy soil, because you've got earthworms in there, you've got some grubs and stuff in there, and that's what they're going after. That they're after the small grubs and earthworms that are in your soil.
Okay, so there was a couple of things. The reason why Michelle asked is because she was still under the impression we were going to do it at the fairground. So if we do it at the fairground, that might be
probably going to reach out and try to get it catered. And now what I'll do is just like how the Georgia Trappers Association does, is we'll have some guy come out and it'll be so much a plate, and you can
figure it out that way.
Purchase it that way. That way we don't, the Homestead Conference doesn't have to come up with a large sum of money to pay for a contractor. And then that way we don't have to charge you guys for tickets.
Right. And then the other question was, is it going to be just one day?
That I don't know. It really depends on, I would like to have it start maybe on maybe a Friday night and go all day Saturday, and then we clean up Sunday and everybody says their goodbye Sunday mornings. Maybe have a little bit of a if you're interested, a church service,
devotional service there Sunday morning.
And then everybody says their goodbyes.
I know the meetup that we had was too short.
Yeah, it was too
It
short.
was way too short. I mean, and the thing is that I know like the weekend, I mean, when we go to the conference in October, I know that's going to be crazy
Hmm.
because you've got one day for everybody to say hi to people they know.
Yeah.
And that's going to be,
And I'm gonna
rough.
be teaching. You're gonna be running the booth, so it's gonna be very
Yeah.
hard for us to.
yeah, that's why we've been wanting to do these, is so that we get a chance to kind of spend some time with the people that are interested in spending some time with us, so that when the conference comes, that they don't feel like they're getting,
They're getting
you know,
shunned or anything,
shunned or-
because we don't want that at all. Like I was talking about this morning in the morning break, this conference coming up in October is, and look, I'm not just saying this because I'm doing a demonstration and giving class about trapping. I'm looking overall, this conference in October is the conference to go to. You got Joel Salatin.
Mhm.
You got the lady from Fresh Eggs Daily.
Lisa Steele,
You've got
Doug and Stacy,
Doug and Stacy. You've got
Oh.
Esther Emery. You got
Alderman Farms.
Alderman Farms. You got me.
Mhm.
You got Hope. You got Sullivan Family.
There's a ton
Homestead.
of people coming. Yeah.
Doing and all different sorts of things. If you think that you might be interested in taking wool from a sheep and turning it into a sweater, then bam, Sullivan Valley.
That reminds me, we have to give away our tickets again
Why?
because Niana can't make it. So we have to raffle off our tickets again.
Did that deserve for me to get hit?
Another one. Yep.
Twice. Okay.
So we're going to have to do something. We'll get creative. Maybe we'll come up with something for Saturday. Figure something out.
Okay. Yes, this is the one in Virginia,
Mhm.
homesteading the Pioneer Way. I mean, they've got a lot of big names coming to this one. And I mean, as I said this morning, look, I'm even going to be, like Maria says, fangirling over Joel Salatin. He's the reason why we're doing what we do and how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
The very first book of his that I read was what? Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. And then my next one was
chickens, wasn't it?
No, it was the other.
Beef.
No, it was the other one about the lifestyle. And then it was salad bar beef.
Salad
and
bar
then,
beef, and then
and
one
then-
about the chickens. I
Then
can't remember.
pastured poultry, and then I
yeah.
got the DVD for the pigs.
Yeah.
So he has molded our homestead, and so there's lots of things that I can't wait to just get that knowledge from him, some more knowledge, because I've got my own set of questions, because I'm at a different level than somebody that may have just stumbled across
Started. Mhm.
Salatin, and and so it's really going to be really, really cool. Like the lady from Fresh Eggs Daily, I can't
Mhm.
wait to hear what she has to say. I'm just hoping that I'm not teaching the same time that these guys are on.
Mhm.
Just like Doug and Stacy. I can't wait to shake Doug's hand. I heard he's a huge dude.
Like 6'8" or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I can't wait to sit down and bend his ear going, all right, man.
I still want to ask him how in the world he's able to.
To get up in that. Yeah. And I want to ask him about his suspenders. He's like the king of suspenders. He's like the godfather of suspenders. That's what somebody called him this morning.
Mhm.
But I finally, I thought I was going to get to meet Tommy Alderman in person this weekend, but that didn't happen. So I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see Miss Amy. The one,
Folks, this ain't normal. That's it.
Yep, that's the
That
one.
was the one.
Yeah,
That's it.
that was my first one.
Yeah.
And and there's
Get in one.
Tangi. I can't wait to meet Tangi.
I'm very curious about their loft where they sleep, because if he is 6'8", I want to know how many times he racked himself in the nose getting up in the morning before he trained himself not to knock himself out.
He probably
Trying to
had,
get out of his bed.
he probably did it one time and then like stapled a bunch of pillows over there for then the next 5 times before he remembered it.
Mm-hmm. Irma wants to know where I am planning to move to has acid soil. How do I garden there? It's zone 8B. So you're close to,
Close to us.
yeah, close to us.
Okay, so the soil's very acidic. Well, you've got to bring in something that's
Alkaline.
alkaline.
Mm-hmm. Don't ask me what that is, but
Let's see. Definitely, I mean, the duh, I don't want to say duh answer, but everybody would say, well, you just got to bring in compost. Well, yeah, you got to bring in the compost. Do not mulch with pine straw.
yeah.
Do not mulch with wood chips that are under a year old. Grass clippings should be okay. I would do a lot of leaf mold. A lot of leaf mold should help you out.
Wood ashes and lime.
Yep.
That's a good one. There you go, Ginger. Was that really necessary?
Okay, fine. Next time I'll let it suck your blood.
Thank you. Anyway, so it's about time for us to wrap up because we got dinner waiting on us, I'm sure. That's a big old stick.
Can't you use Epsom acidity? I'd
Thanks.
have to look at that. I think you're right, Kitty, but I would have to look that up.
Shelly said, well, we know who the shortest was. Her. Doug has a video where he says he's 6'5". Okay.
6'5". That's still huge.
That is so huge.
Yeah. So we're going to call it a night. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We will be back again. I'm not promising anything, but I may have a new live stream for you guys tomorrow night. I've been talking with my mentor when it comes to filming, Brian from Brighton Entertainment. You guys know who he is if you've been with us a while. He's Superman with us that goes to visit the kids in the hospital. They've put together a lot of documentaries, a lot of commercials, different things. Like they're a professional production company. And a lot of you guys have been asking me a lot of tech questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a super tech guy. I can tell you just about as much to get you to about where I am.
Right.
So I'm going to see if they would be interested in doing some type of filming class, for lack of a better term, tech talk, something like that to answer y'all's questions. I know a lot in the small YouTube group on Facebook. There's been
A lot of questions.
a lot of questions about that. He'll be able to explain the 2/3 rule, the 180 rule, and stuff like that a lot better than I can. I'm going down to see him tomorrow because he's purchasing my HVX, and we're gonna talk about him helping us put together our DVD for the conference. So I'll let you guys know more tomorrow. I may just pop on live and say, hey, come to this channel. I may have him. We may do it on my to get him to get y'all asking him questions and stuff like that. We'll do a Google Hangout and he can talk and stuff like that and ask you guys questions. And maybe that's what we'll do is just once in a blue moon, I'll have him on and we can do that way. So that way I can get a list of questions from you guys. And
do it that way.
it can be like a Q&A with him and maybe even get Denton involved. So
You gonna be on later tonight?
I don't know. That I don't know. I've got to try to get some sleep. Last couple of nights I've been having a real hard time sleeping. And for you guys that are close in our circle, you know why. So that's it, right? Just time to eat.
I'm hungry.
Me too. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you guys again tomorrow. And what are you doing?
Just looking.
Okay. And also Saturday.
Mhm.
And be looking for my video coming out, the response video to
Full
Full
Spectrum.
Spectrum's.
Mhm.
I'm editing it right now. The Full Spectrum video, survival versus homesteading.
Mhm.
And Dutch, if you're still in here, I tagged you, homie. So be looking for that. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. And let me go ahead and pull this up right here so I can hit stop. And then we can say boom. All right. Thanks, guys. We love you. Y'all have a
good
great one.
night.
There is the button. There it is.